30 by knockout against 3 losses with 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, from Durango, Mexico, here is the challenger, the former WBO welterweight champion of the world, Jose Luis Lopez. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing purple and gold, and he weighed in at 146 pounds even. He has a perfect professional record of 34 victories without a loss, 29 by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, from Accra, Ghana, presenting the undefeated WBA welterweight champion of the world, Bazooka Quartey.
Jose, Ike. Jose. Ike. All right, guys, you were given your instructions at the weigh-in, both in English and Spanish. I want you to obey my commands at all times, protect yourself at all times, respect the bell, touch him up, buena suerte, let's go.
Question I have in my mind, guys, is if Lopez turns out to be as strong or nearly as strong in close quarters with Quartey, what flexibility does Quartey have? Because he has never had to deal with that in the fights we've seen.
From the early and often category, Ike Quartey is a super fast starter. Case in point, his last fight against Ralph Tiger Jones, he threw 132 punches in the first round and landed 77 of them. There's the telephone jab that Larry referred to.
And he has one of the stiffest, strongest jabs in the game today. Very hard to get beyond that jab.
Who's got a stiffer one?
Ike Quartey definitely has the stiffest jab.
Roy, he's been working out in your gym. Do you ever get a chance to see him, or do you keep totally different hours?
Well, we keep totally different hours, basically, because I don't like to intrude on guys' training. I like to let him go in and do what he wants to do, because, you know, I don't like a lot of people intruding on my training. And it's not good for people to go in and make you unaware of what's really going on around you. I mean, I know that he knows what I am and who I am, but I don't feel as though I should be there to disrupt his training. I don't want to take away none of his glamour. I don't want to take away none of, add to the distractions that he already is going to have. So I try to let him go ahead and get his job done. I want him to be right. I want him to come out and perform and do the best that he can do.
You saw there that Lopez shot a little quick right hand over that jab, looking to find a way to cope with it before he can get into this fight.
The heavily muscled Quartey cuts an impressive figure in the ring, fires a lead right hand, and a left hook and another.
I've heard of guys with granite chins. This guy has a granite body.
One thing Ike has done already is he went out and set the pace. He established himself as a champion. Therefore, the other guy is already behind him.
And Larry, he's got the granite chin to go with the granite body. In fact, the great Gil Clancy, legendary trainer and manager, says Quartey has the best chin he's ever seen. That's why people want to see Trinidad and De La Hoya test it.
I know that it's pretty good because my close friend hit him with some very good shots, and that's Vince Phillips, who is right now reigning IBF junior welterweight champion. And he hit Ike with some real good shots earlier in that fight. Ike smiled at him and kept coming right forward.
Yeah, that's right. Vince's great quote was, "I hit him in the first round and he sneered at me. I hit him in the second round and he laughed at me. In the third round, he knocked me out." And Vince throws a hard right hand. So round one has been a jabbing exhibition by Quartey. He's thrown many more punches than Jose Luis Lopez, has established his jab, and has Lopez on the defensive as we come down the stretch in the first frame. Hard body shots by Quartey as round one ends. And now let's quickly go back to the subject of the preceding bout. We told you about the controversy regarding the scorecards, and we've been joined at ringside by WBA supervisor Jimmy Binns. Jimmy, as we look at the actual scorecards on our screen, what's going on?
It's difficult to say because the scorecards were kept in such a manner that it was difficult to track the scoring by the judges. And as it got toward the end of the fight, it was very fuzzy where each judge stood. And in fact, the scorecard that was given to Mike Buffer to read was wrong. It had a scorecard of 115 to 103.
No, he corrected that, Jimmy.
I know he
said
did, but the
113.
scorecard itself was wrong.
The scorecard said 103,
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Are you suggesting that there might have been some fixing of earlier rounds at the end of the fight, or that there were erasures?
There were definitely corrections made. Now, I'm not saying that there was any fixing of earlier rounds, but there were definitely corrections made that you can see on the official scorecard.
So what do you do next? What's the procedure here?
Procedure is for me to review the actual scorecards that were filled out by the referees and the judges, and match them up against the official scorecard.
Can you have that result for us before this next fight is over?
I'm going to do my best. I'm asking the commissioner to do it now. I hope he's working on it, and I'm going to get the official scorecards myself and check them.
Thank you very much, Jimmy.
Okie doke.
Earlier, Larry, you said that Ike Quartey hadn't fought no noticeable opposition. But he has fought some noticeable opposition. He fought Vince Phillips. Oh, he went down.
What happened there was that Quartey's right glove touched the canvas as he whirled away and after taking a punch.
As I was saying, he fought Vince Phillips, who is a champion right now, and he fought Obakar, who was a very great contender and will soon be a champion. So I think he's fought some pretty good opposition in this day.
So although Quartey dominated the first round, it's Lopez who gets credit for a knockdown early in the second round. Quartey was also scored a knockdown against Obakar, and that one was also a little bit questionable. Good counter left inside by Quartey. Sends Lopez reeling momentarily.
Lopez appears, Ray, to be trying to figure out a way to get in a decisive punch rather than to try to match Quartey punch for punch, because he just can't.
Yeah, and he has the right idea, because sometimes after Ike punches, he's still standing straight up, and that's when Lopez really wants to connect with that big punch.
Well, neither has much head movement. I mean, for a couple of hard-punching fighters, they both have the arrogance to believe that they're going to hurt their opponents, and therefore they can stand with a still head and fire away.
Yeah, they're not really out here to defend, they're out here to offend.
That's right.
They're both big punchers. No need of them working on their defense tonight. Although the hands are held high, some guys, their primary defense is their hands. Now, I think that is the case for both of these guys, because they're big punchers. That way, they can always be set to land them big punches after a guy punches.
Both well-schooled offensive fighters. You can see how precisely and confidently they set up their attacks. Quartey more so than Lopez at this point because he throws so many more punches. Two rounds in the books, and in that one, Lopez benefited from the knockout call by referee Steve Smoker against Ike Quartey. Now, very briefly, to return to the subject of the preceding fight, you heard Jimmy Benz talking about the scratch-outs and erasures on the scorecards. We're going to give you one more look so that with your own eyes you can see the number of dark markings on the scorecards that indicate corrections or changes in round scores. And they exist, apparently, on all three scorecards.
Well, my understanding is that these are not the official tallies, that these were transferred to this sheet, and that he wants to match the tallies that were made to the sheet. Harold, do you have any insights into that?
Larry, the referee picks up a slip from each judge at the end of the round. He gives it to the commissioner, who keeps a master scorecard. What you're looking at are corrections on the master scorecard.
Let's see if we can quickly get what happened in that knockdown. There was a right-hand punch, turned Quartey around. It's a knockdown.
Good call. He had the gloves. I think he had both gloves on the canvas. Certainly the right glove touched the canvas. So So round 3 begins. Ike Quartey, as we mentioned, has established his jab in the first 2 rounds by CompuBox numbers. He threw 122 jabs and landed 63 of them, more than half. Lopez, 7 out of 33. So the punching range dominated by Quartey to this point. Oh, that's a thunderous jab.
Yeah, if you can just sit there and beat your opponent with a jab, I think that's the best thing to do because it's safest, and you don't have to worry about taking too many big risks. Right now, he's out jabbing the guy, so just be content with out jabbing him. Don't let him counter the jab because you know he's going to be looking for that, and just do your thing, you know?
One of my favorite George Foreman quotes, "This sport is easy if you know how to throw a jab."
I know how, but I just don't seem to do it too often.
And some people say you don't have to, Roy. Your quote might be, "This sport is easy if you can ice your opponents with one left hook." Either one of these guys can ice an opponent with a left hook.
I don't know how anybody could stand up to those jabs for 12 rounds.
Quartey was asked the other day to list the most difficult opponents in the welterweight division, and he listed Whitaker first, Trinidad second, De La Hoya third. Even went so far as to throw a little salt in the wound, saying De La Hoya would be easy for me. He hasn't fought anybody. Forgetting, of course, that De La Hoya had fought Whitaker, whom he listed as the toughest opponent in the division.
Yeah, but what he's meaning by that is that it wasn't a convincing, dominating performance by De La Hoya against Whitaker.
Oh, no, Quartey says he thinks Whitaker won the fight.
Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of people think that, and that fight is still iffy. Many people have very different observations about the way they saw that fight.
Some people think that Whitaker won it, and some people say Whitaker won it, whether they think so or not.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why he didn't say anything about the fact that Oscar had beaten Whitaker.
Yeah.
Because it's not convincingly.
Yeah, well, Oscar won the fight.
That's the bottom line.
Anybody thinks.
Yeah.
There's a W on his record. That's
right.
The overall picture.
That did happen. And to his credit, I like the fact that Oscar was willing to say he wanted to do it again because he wanted to straighten it out. He wanted to dominate and show people that he really could beat Whitaker. I admire him for doing that. That's what great champions are made of.
Maybe great promoters are made of saying, I don't care what the fighter wants to do. I'm going to do what makes money for him.
Which is why I don't have one of those great promoters.
Yeah. Good. Breathe in deeply. Okay, breathe in. Okay. Stick to the jabs. Stick to the jabs. Okay. Stick to the jabs. Okay, stick to
He's throwing jabs.
Okay, bueno. Yeah.
Come on, breathe in. Breathe in. Come on, do it again. Come on, good, good. Come on. Don't let him throw those punches. And lean over. Don't let him follow you.
Our interpreters in the corner, Hector Garcia interpreting the Spanish in Jose Luis Lopez's corner, and in the Quartey corner where they speak the Ga tribal language. He's from the Ga tribe in Ghana, and our interpreter is Fred Asifo.
The guy told Lopez all he's throwing is jabs. But in this case, with Ike's jab, it's like saying all he's throwing is straight right leads.
Harold, how you got it through 3?
Well, Jim, the thing we got to talk about is that second round. If anything touches the canvas as a result of a punch, besides the soles of your feet, it's a knockdown. And Jose Luis Lopez knocked him down, and it's all there is to it. You had to give Lopez the second round, but not 10-8, because Quartey did real well with that jab. So I scored that second round 10-9. 2 rounds to 1 Ike Quartey, 29-28.
We're on the same page, Harold, or at least the same scorecard.
Are you okay?
You know, Lopez seems as though he's trying to let Ike punch himself out a little bit before he starts his attack.
Quartey banging away to the body with the triple right hand.
Roy, what is there about Quartey's jab that Lopez can't shoot his right hand over. Does he get it back real quick into position?
He gets it back into position real quick, and it's so powerful that it knocks Lopez back. It knocks him off balance, so he can't throw the right hand in time because he's not set, because the jab is knocking him off balance. It's so strong and it's so quick that it keeps the guy off balance.
What else can he do to try to neutralize it?
Lower his head, make Ike jab lower so that the jab will be a little shorter, and then he can see Ike's chin better. Then he'd have room to step back off of it a little bit and counter with the right hand. Anytime you make a guy punch lower, it shortens the range of the punch. But as long as he's straight up like that, he's going to have a hard time. Now, later in the fight, he may counter because Ike may get a little lackadaisical, and that's what he's probably waiting on. But as long as Ike is like this, he's going to have a very hard time countering that jab from a straight up position like that. And just when he starts to time the jab a little bit, Ike fakes the jab, and here comes the hook. So he can't move his right hand because he's going to get hit.
Lopez fires a right hand over the top and scores with a left hook inside. Quartey backs him back up with the jab. Every time Lopez has landed a hard punch, Quartey has grinned at him.
And what does that usually mean, Jim?
It usually means that it did hurt. It usually means he's covering something up. I think Lopez is a good, solid puncher. He just doesn't get many chances to land because of Quartey's continued fusillade of jabs.
I know he's a good, solid puncher. And I think his thing is to let Ike punch himself down and get close and see can he hurt Ike when he hits him.
And again, the right hand and the left hook, and again, Quartey has the grin on his face. And I think Lopez has found a way to make something work here as this round comes to a close. Join us November 18 for the next installment of Real Sports with Brian Gumbel. Featured in this edition, a profile of Detroit Pistons superstar Grant Hill, a talk with NFL quarterbacks Boomer Esiason, Jim Kelly, and Mark Rippon about their common experiences with children who have life-threatening illnesses, and an investigative look at John Gillette, accused of swindling millions of dollars from top professional athletes. Real Sports, the only show of its kind, and it's only on HBO.
Either you lean forward or cut out, but don't stay in front of this guy. I want you to go to that body. He's going to win this fight if you don't do something. Come on, you can do it. Use that jab.
I get the sense that with that big jab in Lopez's face and forehead, he's like a quarterback who looks downfield and seems to see 10 defensive backs. He doesn't know how to counter it, where to throw the ball.
Yeah, but Lopez seems to be gaining a little bit of confidence, too. Every time he does land a punch on Ike, he backs Ike up. And I think this is giving him a little confidence.
Like that. He's still eating that jab constantly. And it's a damaging, debilitating jab. Quartey continues to pound away. But Lopez, toward the end of the preceding round, found a way to get his left hook into play, leading with the right hand and firing the left hook behind it. Let's see if he comes back to that pattern.
Lopez is looking for one punch. He seems as though he thinks he can hurt Ike. So if he lands his one big punch, he wants to see what's going to happen. In the meanwhile, Ike will just box him and stay away from him.
Lopez trying to get his left hook to Quartey's ribcage. Quartey comes back to that solid base.
Don't punch, step clean. Very good, very good.
Ike Bazooka Quartey, tremendously strong legs in addition to the chiseled upper body that you can see. Keeps a wide base. Hard counter right.
Very good counter right hand by Quartey. I can sense that all Lopez wants to do is land that one big punch. So he's setting himself up to counter that one big punch. And that's very smart.
Punch out, your hands loose. Punch out, let him out. Get out of break. Okay, that's good, very good. Step back, step back. Yes. Don't punch.
Now you see a little more head movement by Ike Quartey.
A response to the hard punches Lopez was able to land toward the end of the preceding round. Right hand lead over the top lands for Quartey. Lopez hadn't gotten anything going here in the fifth. Another
body shot by Quartey.
And a hard right hand up top as well. He goes back to working that telephone pole jab. Lopez trying to get to the body, but Quartey was in perfect position with his arms pinned against his sides. Doesn't have a lot of head movement, but the Ghanaian star does defend well with his arms and gloves. That time Lopez got the left hook through the middle of the guard.
Step back, step back.
There's that one big right hand that Lopez is trying to land.
Hasn't landed much.
Breathe in. Yeah, get some water here. Okay. Keep on breathing in. Breathe in very deeply. Now drink some water. Keep on breathing. Deep breaths. Breathe in. Okay, now when he hits you, hit him back. All right? And push it back. That's all you need to do. You do the right thing. Okay? You're doing the right thing. Stick to the body punches and the jabs.
Throw that jab to the liver, to the bottom side.
The last top welterweight to come out of Mexico about 15 years ago was Pepina Cuevas. Cuevas was stopped by Tommy Hearns. Right now you have to think that Quartey is playing Hearns to Lopez's Cuevas.
Don't punch, step, step. Very good.
Quartey landing an uppercut there. Snapped Lopez's head back, and it goes back to that thunderous jab. Lopez's corner advising him to try to work to Quartey's body to see if they can take some of the steam out of his punches. That may be wishful thinking.
And it may be dangerous because Quartey keeps his hands high. So when someone goes to punch his body, he tries to counter with good headshots. Excellent jab hook.
So quick. So quick with the left hand.
Doesn't give you a chance to counter it.
So watch this great jabbing display by Quartey. Remember that against the conventional stance of Miguel Angel Gonzalez, Oscar De La Hoya was throwing some murderous jabs several months ago. So it'd be interesting to see the two of them square off and which man could out-jab the jabber.
Be a very interesting fight.
Lopez is getting into it here.
Lopez's attack has been blunted by another Quartey rally.
Lopez is a powerful puncher, though, Jim.
Particularly with the left hook, I think, Roy.
And the right
really
hand,
snap it.
The right hand, too, though, Jim. He's throwing some very good punches here. And they'll be dangerous throughout the night as long as he's throwing them like this.
Quartey blocking 2/3 of those punches with his gloves and blocking 2/3 of the next combination with his gloves. So Lopez pounding away, but landing most of his shots on Quartey's peekaboo defense. Again, blocking the shots with his gloves. And then another long right hand lands for Quartey. Lopez got in a left uppercut. Quartey came back with a counter.
An excellent counter hook.
Best round so far.
Two good fighters.
Two excellent fighters.
Okay, let me get a look. Let me get a look. Okay. All right.
Jose Luis halfway home.
Okay,
media.
Okay, baby. ¿Qué pasó?
What's going on?
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Home,
No, bueno. Okay. Otro round. Okay. Otro round.
One more round. This is the 8th round.
Bueno.
Are you okay? This is better. This was better. You have all kinds of opportunities. Throw the uppercut between his gloves. You can do it. You can do it.
Here we see Quartey responding to a flurry of block punches with a left hook rather than his left jab.
That's what's so good about keeping his hands high. He always can counter with that left hook after a guy stops.
I know earlier when we looked at the rankings of the fighters, I said that Quartey was the strongest of the three champions, and Trinidad was the better puncher of the three outstanding. And that holds up here. He's not a power puncher. He's a hard puncher. That's the impression one gets, Roy.
Yeah, he is a hard puncher, but he has a lot of snap on those punches. And Trinidad throws more rangy punches. The rangy punches have a little more leverage on them, and that's why he seems to be the harder puncher. But he's not really
more of a knockout puncher.
Yeah, because the snap with the leverage and the range is what really gets the knockout.
All right, Letterman, how do you have it through 6?
Jim, 59-55, 5 rounds to 1. Ike Quartey because he's busier. But I want to say two things about Jose Luis Lopez. Number one, it's not a hook he throws, it's an uppercut. Watch it, Jim. It gets under that elbow very often. Number two, he's not red and he's not swollen, even though he ate all those jabs, because they got Joe Souza in the ring working down on the fighter, keeping that swelling down, and he's not swelling up even though he's eating all those jabs. This is going to be a fight.
I hope so, Errol.
Right now, it seems to me, though, that Ike has a mental edge on him. It seems like Ike is pretty much in control, and he doesn't seem, Lopez doesn't seem to have the same fire he had a few rounds ago. He needs something big to happen for him to give him that fire back.
Hey, don't punch, don't punch. Step, step.
Any opinion, Roy, how either of these fighters does against Whitaker?
Well, both of them have a hard time against Whitaker because they're big punchers, and it's very difficult to hit Whitaker with these big punches. However, Ike has a conventional stance that allows him to go forward, backwards, left, or right pretty easily. So he probably have a better chance against Pernell Whitaker. Lopez, however, always keeps his weight forward. He'd never hit Whitaker, and he wouldn't do probably as well because he's a straightforward guy. Those are the guys that Whitaker has preyed on throughout his entire career.
Yep. Fascinating because neither of these fighters has a severe technical flaw. And yet you're saying that both of them would have technical problems against Pernell.
Well, like I said, Ike would have problems because of his punching ability, but I think he'd slack up a little bit and throw quicker punches against Pernell because he knows that he can't go out there and worry about Pernell's head. He has to kill the body and let the head die. The other, Lopez, on the other hand, is really strictly a big puncher, strictly a forward, straight ahead fighter. And like I said, he would definitely have problems with the Whitaker.
Lopez reaching to try to land a right hand over the top against Quartey. Quartey countering as always. Lopez finally gets in a left hook underneath as the round comes to a close.
Okay. This is a very good round for you. Stick to what you're doing. I'm very happy with what you're doing, okay? Now, don't stand up straight when you throw the right. Okay? And don't stand right in front of him. Don't give him a chance to punch back. And don't let him push you back.
Keep your distance and throw more punches. You have to keep your distance from this guy. Use your left, right, and then you right, straight out hand. But you have to do something. You just can't stand there. You got to do more work.
All right, gentlemen.
Go for it.
Now the question is whether Lopez is willing to take the risk of making it a rough fight, because Quartey is hard to hit, and if you make it a rough fight, you leave yourself open, and he's going to find those openings.
Well, you heard Rene Martinez telling Lopez in his corner, you've got to do more than you're doing. It's a very tough call for the fighter who has to go in and face the punishment he's going to take if he opens up a little more.
Yeah, Jim, but I think that's his only chance. He's getting outboxed right now because he's trying to land the big punches. Ike's just stepping around him, steady outboxing him, and it's basically making him lose confidence. So his thing is, if he wants to land the big punch, trade, gamble. Go for the gamble so you can land the big punch and see what happens. But if you just sit out here and do this, you're going to get outboxed all night and you're going to get murdered.
Well, when Martinez told him between corners he had to do more, according to our interpreter, Hector Garcia, Lopez said to him, but his punches are hurting me.
That's right. These punches are powerful. That hard jab I told you about when they said he's just throwing a jab. Yeah, but that jab feels like a straight right hand to the opponent. You know, the corner man can say, well, he's just hitting with a jab. But they don't know how hard this jab is. This is not an ordinary jab. This is
not a pity pad.
This is a bazooka jab.
Bazooka Quartey in round 7. 53 of Quartey's 61 punches were jabs. You see the effect they have. Well, you can hear the effect they have with our ringside microphones.
I'll tell you what, Lopez's punches are not as strong as they were earlier either. Ike punches are just as strong, if not stronger than they were in the earlier round.
Watching this, if a good, strong, fluid combination puncher like Lopez can't get to Quartey, you wonder who can.
Well, no one in this division has quicker hands than Oscar De La Hoya. So in a match of quickness, I wouldn't bet against De La Hoya.
Well, but these are the type of fights that people should be able to see. You know, we all sit here and wonder, but who would win? That's very intriguing. That's very adventurous for our minds because we can play so many different games. So how about let's make it happen?
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Well, we need the public to get to know about Quartey.
Well, they know enough
to mount the demand.
They know enough about De La Hoya. Let's go ahead and make it happen. De La Hoya is the man with the name, with the style, with the plan. Make it happen. Anybody he fights, they're going to pay attention to. But when they see that this guy is something to really deal with, they're going to pay more attention. Then they'll get to know who Ike Quartey is. And in the rematch or the third fight, they'll definitely know who both fighters are.
Clock ticking down in round 7. Large, angry red welt right above the eyes of Jose Luis Lopez. That's the target where Ike Quartey has been pounding him with the jab all night long.
We're at the 9th round. You're doing very well. This is just way to fight this guy. Just stick to the plan. That's it. That's just way to fight him. Okay, you're doing the right thing. But take your time as well, okay? And give us a few body punches. This is what I've been trying to get you to do all the time. This is what I've been trying to get you to do for some time now.
Use that uppercut and right between his gloves. You can pick him up right between his gloves. Use that uppercut. You have to make a bigger effort this time. Use that upper and pick him up. He's leaving himself open. And throw those uppercuts right between his gloves. You can get him. You can do it.
The fighting surfer, Jose Luis Lopez, smiles at us as he comes out of his corner for the 9th round. But it's a wan smile, kind of smile that says, well, I don't really know what else I can do.
I tried. But you know, it says a lot about Ike Quartey being noted as such a strong puncher to be able to go out here and basically dominate and win this fight with a jab. That's good boxing skills. That's the things that young fighters should be able to sit at home and watch. Watch a guy control the fight totally with the jab. You don't have to go out and knock everybody out with a power punch. If you can control a fight with the jab, that means a lot about, that says a lot about your boxing skills. And that means that you are truly a boxer.
A decision win over Jose Luis Lopez is a strong credential. Worth waiting for. And Quartey has shown patience throughout the fight. Lopez trying to use straight rights to set up the left hook again. Left hook was blocked by Quartey's right glove there.
And I must say that Lopez is a disciplined fighter. He's doing everything his corner told him. He throws the uppercuts to try to come between the gloves like they suggested. He's doing everything that they're suggesting. It's just that sometimes you can't win a race with a quarter horse when you're racing thoroughbreds.
Well, that depends on the distance.
And we have 12 rounds here, which is thoroughbred material.
That's right. Lopez gets an uppercut through the guard. Quartey comes back with a counter right. Lands a hard right inside. He had a thunderous left hook to the chest moments ago.
But this is the gamble that Lopez needs to take. He needs to make Ike punch so he can try to punch too. He's getting beat just standing out there waiting. Go ahead and gamble. Either win it or get knocked out, one or the other, you know. But don't just let it go down the drain. And those are good punches he's still throwing now.
These are truly outstanding gold and purple trunks Quartey has on too, Roy.
Yeah, I mean,
that's championship stuff.
That's right. You know, that's what champions are made of. It says a lot about a guy to see him come dressed for the occasion.
There's a welt over under the left eye of Quartey. So Lopez has been getting to him with some of those punches. First time we've seen Quartey marked that way. I've often remarked about fighters who seem to throw a jab from the back seat very tentatively. This guy, Quartey, seems to throw it from the hood of the car.
Breathe in. All right. You're doing very well. Don't change what you're doing. Stick to what you're doing. Don't change anything at all. That's the same thing I want you to do all the time.
He's hurt. He's hurt. He's got an eye already. He's got a swell under the eye.
Hielo. ¿Tienes el hielo?
Give me the ice.
Oh, okay. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
Lopez landing double-digit punches only one round. Quartey steadily landing 30 to 35 punches throughout the fight.
All right, John, we gotta go. Come on.
Lopez has a look on his face that says to his cheering cornerman, "What fight are you watching?"
Hey, Jim, I don't think he's looking to land double-figure punches. I think he just wants to land one punch to try to get it over with.
Thank you.
A look of utter resignation on the face of Jose Luis Lopez. Well, now ideally you'd like to come out and land 100 punches around and blow your man away, but you're right. He's reduced to that ambition, just trying to land one punch, because Quartey's been so effective with what he's doing. Harold, how do you have it through 9?
Same as I had it the last time. 8-1, 89-82. Ike Quartey. You just can't take it away from him. He's the busier guy. He piles up the points with that left jab. Clean, effective punching. That's what's winning a fight. He's won every round except the second round. He's winning his fight big. Lopez has to knock him out in the last 3 rounds to win it.
Agreed.
Good luck. Lopez's punches, when they land, not nearly as powerful as they were in rounds 3 and 4 and 5, when it appeared that he might be able to mount some kind of a rally.
No, and in my opinion, I don't think you're going to catch a guy like Ike Quartey with the 1-2 combination or just a one-punch combination. I think you have to put punches together to try to knock a guy like Quartey. I mean, he's not a dumb fighter or he wouldn't be champion. You know, he's one of the best fighters out now. He's definitely one of the best welterweights in the division, and you're not going to knock him out with a 1-2 punch combination.
Well, and against fighters like Aaron Davis and Yuri Boy Campos, Jose Luis Lopez was brilliant at putting 3 and 4 and 5 punch combinations together. Yeah, but you just can't do it here.
No, because when you catch one or you throw 2 of them and a big punch comes between it stops that rally. Right
hand landed behind the ear for Lopez, but Several of those punches blocked again by Quartey's gloves.
Now Lopez has a cut under his right eye.
Little one.
Hey, don't punch, don't punch.
Chopping right hand landed for Lopez after a Quartey jab. And that gives Lopez some encouragement, so he keeps firing. Quartey countering.
This is the kind of encouragement that he needed. That's what I'm saying. He should have been taking a chance a long time ago.
Don't punch, Louis. All right, come on, Louis, go. Bell, is that the bell? Is that the bell?
And a grinning Lopez sees his rally come to an end as the bell rings to end round 10.
Here's a sequence of jabs by Quartey, like an off-tackle run in football, 5 yards at a clip. Keeps rocking Lopez back, changes up with a little bit of a left hook, plus a right. Awfully tough stuff to get something going against.
Can I get your card?
Lopez gave it a shot in the last 30 seconds of the last round.
2 round special. 2 round special. Yeah, don't play around with this guy. You're going to make him happy. You're going to make him confident, okay? Don't make any more mistakes. Do not play with this guy. You only have 2 rounds to go. You only have 2 rounds to go.
Right now, Quartey is dominating a very good prize fighter.
Yeah, but he can't get careless because that very good prize fighter still has punching power left.
Right, you heard his trainer Daniel O'Dampton saying exactly that to him. Don't make another mistake and give this guy confidence. You saw the confidence that Lopez welled up with in the last 30 seconds of the preceding round, but he looked a little weary as he stepped back out of the corner to begin this one.
Don't punch, step. Very good.
The only combination that's been working at all for Lopez all night. Long right over the top, left hook to follow.
Actually, I think it's the left uppercut that he's bringing between the gloves when Ike pushed the gloves together.
Yeah, and the hard right hand lands, and down goes Quartey on a left hook. Second knockdown of the bout for Lopez.
That's why I said he couldn't get careless.
He was seriously dazed. The right made him totter, and he was followed by a left.
And Lopez can finish him if he catches with a good punch.
Quartey's still wobbling. Lopez has a tremendous chance here. Tremendous chance.
I told you
Lopez trying to land another left hook.
I told you he was still a strong puncher. I told you he's very strong.
And we've got half a round to go yet.
And you can't get careless against a big puncher like this.
Quartey seems to be finding himself again. The moment may have passed. Lopez had it right there between his hands.
It hasn't passed yet because Lopez is very strong. Yeah, he's very hurt. His eyes are still glassy, and Lopez is a very strong puncher. You heard him then off of a fresh punch. So the chance has not passed. And Ike seems to be a little tired now.
Should Quartey be grabbing and holding, Roy?
Yes, he should. He should be holding.
Instead, he continues firing his jab. Now he grabs for a moment.
He shouldn't fire the jab because that's going to give him a chance to land that right hand.
But he doesn't know any other way. He keeps firing the jab, keeps throwing punches, and Lopez looks for a chance to land another one of those. You call it an uppercut. I've been calling it a left hook. It's a De La Hoya punch. It's that hooker cut. Kind of comes up at an upward angle.
Yep. I told you Lopez should have been gambling a long time ago because that's the only chance he has is to gamble. He can't outbox Ike. He should go for the gamble and see if he can hurt him.
Quartey gradually regaining his strength and getting his feet under him.
Not really. His strength hasn't really come back yet.
He just landed 2 right hands It made Lopez think twice about coming back at him. The bloody mouth for Quartey now.
Goes back to pumping the jab. See if Lopez can bring the right hand over the top.
Well, Lopez is asking some questions of Quartey. We haven't seen him ask yet.
Sit down. You made a small mistake. Don't worry about it, okay? Okay.
I don't know.
You're still winning the fight. You're still winning the fight.
The boss wants to know why you're not banging on.
Okay, we'll have one more round to go. That's it.
He wants you
You gotta apply more pressure. You have to apply the pressure now. It's the last round you can do it.
Give me the call, please. Big call.
You have to do it.
Last one, Ike. Last one.
This is the last round. Do it.
Here we see the knockdown
Watch the
late in the
yellow.
fight.
Watch the yellow. Watch the
Quartey a
yellow.
little bit fatigued. A right followed by a left.
Wipe it up.
You can even find chinks in granite, Jim.
I've been saying all night, Larry, that this guy can punch, and I have to be very careful because a big puncher is only chance to land that one big punch. That's what he's been trying to do all night, and that's what he got lucky and did last round.
Lopez re-energized by what he did in the 11th. And just in case some of the scoring isn't as one-sided as Harold Letterman has been showing us, remember, Lopez now has two-point rounds, the second and the 11th.
The second might not have been a 2-point, but the point is well taken. He's put a dent in Quartey.
Quartey defensive as the 12th round begins. His trainer tried to get him to relax and calm down. Forget about it. It was a mistake. Forget about it. Quartey obviously still quite wary after what happened in the 11th.
What he should be doing is, this is exactly how he should fight the last round. He's won 9 out of 11 rounds. Why go out there and take a chance of getting knocked out in the last round? Outbox guys, stay away from you. You know he's a big puncher. Win the fight, win the decision, and let's go home.
So Quartey showing good presence of mind.
Yes, he's showing good presence of mind. You know,
being right over the top by Lopez.
Harold Letterman very excited beside me because he remembers Lopez's father going into Philadelphia and knocking out a very highly ranked featherweight named Goss.
Sammy Goss. This fight is being seen live closed circuit in Durango. Quartey's fights are all seen in Ghana.
That's what Quartey should be doing right there. Boxing and staying away. Don't run into the big shot because you know this kid has big punches, and he's going to try to knock you out with that one shot.
Another right hand landed for Lopez.
A good right hand.
Quartey holding on. Referee Steve Smoger stays out of the action. Lopez isn't likely to get another chance.
I don't know. He's still strong. He's still very confident. I just has to stay away from him. That was a very smart round by Quartey.